So today we're going to briefly go through how to upload new accounts on the system for both loan and for dues. It's a pretty simple process. There's two ways of doing that. You can do those one by one, individually. It's not the most efficient way, so we'll cover that in a little bit, but the way you'll probably end up wanting to do that is by doing that in an upload file. So you'll have 30, 50 new accounts to put on the system. This will probably be the best way to do that. So we've kind of gone over our home page here, and the upload is under the administration tab. And we will want to, since we have both loan and dues accounts, we will want the loan and billing combined contract. And there's two buttons. There's a button that we will use to upload once we get the template completed, but now we need to actually access the template itself. So we're going to download the template, and it's going to pop up. And we are going to see all of the different column headers. And because it's for both loan and for dues, there's quite a few. So what I've done is I've gone through and filled one out with a few examples. And so we can go through those together. So the system is going to be all, and that indicates it's both a loan and a dues account. Your account number, remember that first 6 digits for outdoor adventures will be 263001. For venture out will be 265001. And then the last 6 digits are your ID number with leading zeros if needed. And the account number for loan and billing or for dues are the same. Your client ID, which is a code that our system uses to say, hey, we're going to load a new sales file, we're going to process a payment, we're going to run a report, and here's the client's parameters that we need to go and get from the system in order to process this function. So your client ID for outdoor world is outdoor, and for venture out, it's then out, which would look like ENOUT. So you'll start to see those on reports and screens and various other places. Our disposition codes are the status codes we've kind of talked a little bit about. Usually a new sale is not going to have any type of complications or complexity, so it's just going to be a regular active account. Your lender is your a loan assignment account, loan assignment code, rather. So that will be in the lender position. And then we have our terms. So our sales price, the closing cost, down payment, equity, and loan amount. So these all have to obviously balance. So sales price, closing cost we put in as a negative number, down payment, any type of equity, those should all equal to the loan amount when it's all said and done. Our frequencies, they're not required to put these in here. So if you want to reduce this down to the bare minimum columns that you need to have in the template, and then create a template that's more meaningful for you, definitely do that. I will send this document as well. It tells what each of the fields represents, what should go in the field, and whether or not if it's optional or required. So this document will help that interpretation. So frequencies, all of our loan payments are monthly, and then your dues are going to be set up for flex monthly. CPA, interest rates, terms, again, your loan amounts, your interest rate, and your terms have to equate out to the proper payment amount. If it doesn't, the system will recognize that and bring it back as an error. Interest calculation is not a required field. First payment due date is, so what's the first date that the loan is going to be due? Terms, several optional term information. You do not have any impounds. So our sales date, we definitely want to capture that information. Interest date, if there's nothing listed, it will automatically default to 30 days prior to the first payment due date. If it needs to be something different, some of our clients start assessing interest 45 days, so you can actually put a value in here and it will use that value versus using the 30-day default. Late charge codes, we've already built those into your client parameter, so you don't have to memorize those or know what those are. So those can be removed if you want to keep it simple. There are a lot of fields for unit and week. If you want to use these fields to capture other elements of information, you definitely can, and they will show up on Client Central. If not, we can move these from the template as well. The prior servicer and unique ID, these are what is going to allow you to cross-reference with your ID number as you know them. So by putting these in here, actually, by putting these into these specific fields, they will allow you to access the accounts without knowing or having memorized the first 6 digits. Not that it won't take long to memorize that, but in the beginning, it's just another element to help with the conversion and transition. So these are 3 accounts that I'd already set up, so we're setting up 3 additional customer accounts here. We have payment methods, ST statements, CC credit card, SP is SurePay, otherwise known as ACH. So the loan, we're going to set up one of each, a statement, credit card, and an ACH. Monthly statement method or payment method. All of the dues will be statement for the most part. They can be ACH or credit card. Also, they have separate fields of information, so you can have Visa paying the monthly loan payment and have a Discover card paying a monthly dues payment if we want to. So then information such as names, we have up to 4 names available. So put some in here just as our examples. Social Security numbers. Date of birth. I don't know if use that as part of your dues freezing calculations, but the fields are there so they can capture that information if we need to. FICO and BNI scores, if you, again, do not use those, you can take those out of the template. And then we'll have our address. Phone numbers, the phone description are completely customized. So we can put Mrs. Self, we can put phone 1, put Mr. Self. We have up to 4 phone numbers. Same thing with emails. They can have custom labels as well. XREF, again, will assist with being able to use your ID number how you currently know that. So be something that's hopefully helpful. Now, we set up action codes equal your current status codes. So everything that's going to be converted, we are going to basically stamp what your status code was at the time of conversion, so you can have that to refer back to. If you want to continue that process going forward, that's what all of these action codes here are. See how they represent your current status codes. So if you want to, continue to keep that process up, you will want to indicate the action code that's going to be the equivalent for the status code that you want to use. And that's going to go under one of the action code fields. Excuse me. And then there's also some exception codes that you sometimes use. So I put a few in here as example. Camping only, rental only, full family use. If you want to include those, they can always be added after the fact, but if you know what they are at the time of the new sale, you can definitely include that information when it gets loaded into the system. So there's room for 3 action codes, and you'll see when we get to the dues, we actually use all 3 because we also have a due cycle. So due cycle for May, September, December. Then we have our PCH information. We provide that with a routing account number, whether it's checking or savings. SurePay next debit date. What the importance of that is, go back here and look at the first payment due dates, and say this account's first payment due date's on the 1st, but they want to be drafted on the 5th. So if they want a draft date other than their due date, you would indicate that here under the SurePay or the ACH, or the same thing exists for credit cards. So over here, his due date is, first payment due date is October 10th, but he wants to be debited on the 20th. So that's why we put one for this account. Credit card information, expiration date, again, loan versus dues. So they can have separate, they can have same. You are not going to be using incentive yet. I know there's some talk about that. So for now, we can take that out of the template. Setup date, the system will automatically default to the day the file is processed unless you want it to display something different. Put that in here. If you have some type of unique member ID other than account number, you can store that as well. Your miscellaneous client date has to do with your due cycle. So it's formatted like a regular date. So since this was May, you just put May 1st and it'll capture that information. You do not have any custom fields yet. And you do not have any teaser rates on your accounts that I know of. So we've got the file complete.
Eric?
To see, yeah.
Can we go back to those where you have the Con 30 dispositions?
Talking about these?
Right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the disposition codes, correct?
Correct.
Okay. For the loan.
Both.
Okay. Now the next one over, the bill action code, is that I mean, we're going to need a place, unless I missed it before I came in, for exceptions?
That's what these are.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, so here's all of your current status codes, the disposition codes that they equate to, and then the action codes that you would use to get these disposition codes. So the three pieces here: the status, the disposition, and the action codes. So
okay.
This is how they all relate. So I think you have this, but after talking this morning, there's a couple updates. So I'll send out a new one when I get that finished or revised. So yeah, and then your exception codes. Thought I sent a list out for you and I think Dawn to review, but I can send that again as well. So yeah, I think we have all the information for our three accounts here. We're going to save it. We're going to go back over to our Client Central, our upload. And we're going to choose the file that we just worked on. Now we're going to say, again, we haven't changed, but we're going to say we have a loan billing combined, and we're going to upload. All right, so let's get the right file this time. And so now the system is taking that information. Again, it's going and saying, okay, I have an outdoor adventures file here. I'm going to go pull the outdoor adventures setup parameters. Then it compares that to what's in the file. And then it comes back and it says, all right, we had 3 total accounts. 2 of them were set up correctly. We have 1 with an error. We get kind of a little summary here. here was a success, this was an error. And what's really nice is we can go directly into the account with an error by highlighting and clicking on that little one. And it's going to pull up that account. It's going to say client does not match. So basically, we forgot to indicate client. And that's all we really have to do. We can edit right in the error file. And we can restate it. And we can go back out and we can find it. And it's the same template. And so now that last account that's been an error, it's been successfully uploaded as well. If we want to look at it, so it's ready to go. So this is one of the 3 accounts that we just set up. So we can see our loan information. We can see our dues information. We got our status codes. We have our action codes. Here's the full family use, December due cycle. One for loan, one for dues. So it captured all of our action codes for us. And because this account, we had indicated that it needs to be set up on ACH, it automatically created a ACH welcome letter. So you can see that in the comments, and we can also see that in the statement request as a pending request that will process this evening. So that is how to upload a file of new sales. And again, all of these fields that we went through, a good portion of them were optional, so you'll be able to, once you go through this the first time, customize your template and put in there only the fields that are required, and then all of the fields that are meaningful for you, and you'll be able to use that as your template going forward. Oh, let's look at this. The old ID that we put in here and the unique ID that we put in here should allow us to do this. It did. So by putting these cross references in the previous and unique ID and the XREF field over here, when we just do a backslash and enter the ID number as you know it, it will pull up the account. And so we have 2 to choose from. We have the loan and the billing. So it'll find the account for you without, again, needing to have memorized the first 6 digits. So it should help a little bit with the initial transition. And you can just click on it and it'll load the account up.
Will those cross-references be entered at the final data drop? Okay.
Yeah, they will. Probably try see, so they're already in there. So there's a ID 14, it looks like, Howard Carr. So it comes up once for the loan, once for the billing, and then all you have to do is click on it. So yeah, our backslash account number. I don't know if there's a 142, but we can see. Yeah, there is. So yeah, looks like Walt Sadwick has an account, 142. So we can click on it and then it'll load up for us. So that's new sales uploads. So I will send you a blank template with all of the fields. I will send this field descriptor of what fields are required, what are optional, what they're just, what the values represent. We can talk a little bit about entering one by one if you want to. It's the same process. It's under the administration, and it's the billing and the loan new contracts options here, and it requires the same information, but we just are entering it, basically manually instead of in a file upload type of a situation. So I have all these choices with my login. You should only have your outdoor and venture out options here. So we can choose which assignment code it should have at the beginning. Has our ability for our disposition codes, payment frequency, system loans that we're setting up, so monthly, late charge codes filled in for us, sales date, sales price. Let's see here. This would be you can see it's the same type of a thing. You can add additional action codes here. First payment due date, we'll make that over 20th. Interest date, we'll do that blank. Have any impounds, won't have any sensitive information. So some of this information we can put in here and leave that. Some of it we enter, and if there's multiple, then we have to add those and keep going down the list until we've added all we need to. Individuals. This puts some actions in for us. Emails, same type of thing. This account's not going to be an upgrade payment. We're just going to say this guy's going to be on statements for the simplicity of it. So now we've looked at all of these tabs, all the tabs, account, individual, address, phone, email, upgrade payments. So now we can save the account. So the loan terms are blank. So what did it in here? I didn't put the terms in here, so. And so that,
Hey, Eric?
that account is on system. Yeah.
I have a quick question about one of the fields where it says enter notes near the top. Is that just a text field? Nothing else gets put in there, correct?
Right. That's the account comments. So, you know, once the accounts are set up and people are working it, Mr. Paul asking for payoff. Quoted. See what his payoff is now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So you can say, payoff is $1236.59. And we can choose which type of a note that it is. You know, these allow us to sort and report on different types of notes if we want to. So if this is an incoming call, or if we're answering maybe an email, or if we've received correspondence from the customer, we can indicate that as the note type and then fill in the information. Then we can pull reports on those note types if we need to. So yeah, submit it. And say the note's been saved, and we can go and look at the comments here. And you can see the note that we just entered. So kind of go back to our new sales, the same thing for dues. Fill in that information. Thing. That we did for the loan. We're just repeating the same information for the results. So my personal preference is that we have to enter all this information. It's easier for me to enter it into the template. One thing, we have a record of what was done. Keep. So we have to enter the information in the same anyway. And so now we've created a billing account to match this. So if we go and refresh this, there's now not only the loan, but also the dues account information. So now Eric has two, he has his loan and he has his dues. So that's pretty much the new sales from both the upload standpoint and also for the individual adding of the accounts. So I'll send that information. I will update the action codes and send those to you. I'll go ahead and resend the exception codes. That should be hopefully all the information that you need to kind of get started. Do you usually do new sales like once a week or?
No. I mean, their sales days are 4 or 5 days.
Okay, so it'll be a pretty common occurrence.
Yeah.
What we can do is set up a new sales report. Let's see here. Just to show you as an example. We can set this up to automatically generate every day. So if there's new sales done the day before, you can get a report the next morning that will show you the accounts have been set up, and if you want to use that report as an additional validation, you can. So the new sales report, there's one available for loan and for dues, and you can have that in Excel format emailed to you every morning. So any day that there's a new sales, that you'll be able to get that information in a report form if you want to, and it will show you, the account number, consumer name, any of the unit and week information, phone numbers. It'll redact the social security numbers. It'll show you the last four. It'll show you the terms. So it's a nice way to validate your new sales. So you can include this report in the process if you want to. And obviously the same thing for the dues side. There's a dues report that has the same type of format function.
Are we gonna be sending that report though, just once a week? Or are we gonna do it on a daily basis? It doesn't matter, we can do it whenever we want to.
Yeah, the report will set up to queue every day. So if there's a day when you didn't do new sales, obviously it just won't create anything for you. But by setting it up for every day, on the days that you do, it'll pull that information and email it to you the next morning. So this is what the dues, very similar. The dues setup report looks like. Let's see. The other thing that if for some reason you only have dues accounts to set up and do not want to use the combined loan and dues, we do have a separate for just the dues. And likewise, if you ever have a situation where you just need a loan set up, you're more than welcome to use your loan template, loan and billing template. Just leave all of the billing blank, but there's also a loan-only template. So there's full functionality, billing only, loan only, and then a combined version for both of them. So what kind of questions do we have so far?
You guys have anything?
No. Sure will once we start using it.
Yeah.
It's like that, it's really a lot like that spreadsheet that we got, from authorized.net to do batches. It's got a lot of this, it's got a lot of the same information, a lot, you know, so it's very, very similar.
Right, and you know, with the upload, you know, feature, you guys are totally, excuse me, more in control. You get the feedback right away, what was successful, what wasn't. It gives you, you know, that error file, so you can go right into the errors and hopefully correct them right into the same file, and then, you know, we process just the errors until, you know, I've had files where there's, you know, 100 new sales and there's 10 errors, and I just keep whittling the errors down until they all go away and all the accounts get set up successfully. So. Don had mentioned our consumer site. So our consumer site, I'll go into my account here. It's my.equiant.com. Of course, you know, there's API abilities from your site directly into this for consumers to use. So here's my account. And it shows any balances that are due. This is a maintenance fee account that I have. It shows my next statement drop, what my current rates and information is. It allows me to update, you know, email, user information, change my password. I can add and remove accounts to my login. I can request notifications when statements drop, or if I'm on an ACH schedule when payments are posted. I can enter payments. So if I want to enter payment on my maintenance, it will let me do that. Account information, just to get summary of my account. Giving me a chance to update it. I can look at my history. Again, there's the ability to expand and collapse these years. So that's the functionality for the consumer site. Is there anything else that you can think we need to go over today?
No, well, I think we're good, Eric.
Okay, I will send you all of the things I promised for new sales. We'll also send you the soft copies of the reference books that we're having printed, and that I'll FedEx to you tomorrow. So you'll have the soft copies to distribute out how you need to. So yeah, expect some emails from me today.
Okay, and, you're gonna email me, this is Tom, email me the updates from our earlier meeting that we discussed, that I'm gonna need to get to you. I think I've got everything here, but I just wanna make sure I don't miss anything.
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay.
And then set our meeting for tomorrow and Friday as well. So I'll set those up. Send in.
1 o'clock, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. I guess we will talk tomorrow then.
Okay, thanks, Eric.
All right. You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.